Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to another recording of Magnetic Cage Closed. So, we just paused the game, so we should just be able to unpause the game, you would think, but with the start button, but no, that doesn't work. I have to actually unpause it. We finished this puzzle, so we're gonna have to go through this load section. Thank goodness I have an SSD, so there's no real load delay here. I assume these doors would stay closed if it was actually loading.
Will not make things lighter for you. The D27 prototype is still a bit rough around the edges and has a fairly limited power output. It will be interesting to see how you handle these heavier objects.
Well, we've got okay, so seems like you can kind of just push them yourself, which is nice. When I was playing Watch Your Mac, when I was playing QUBE, there were several objects like this that, for kind of a silly reason, were not interactable by the player, so you would just clip right through it. That's kind of it was kind of disappointing. So it's nice that you can actually interact with things. I do like this camera opening shutter. If this was a missed game, I would love to see doors like that. I don't think it really fits in this game, though. Here, this would be a great opportunity to have a logo or something recognizable,
that is, if you reach the more
the symbol of a magnet
challenges.
or something.
This place, it's more like a marathon than a sprint. Take your time and learn the basics before you move on. Once the evaluation is over, you will have precious little time to learn.
So she's basically, I assume, saying once the evaluation is over, I will be murdered, since they're saying I'm a prisoner in the first place. This is just your standard stuff, though. Like, we're going to look for a way to see how it's forcing you to crouch, so you know the crouch button exists. It didn't tell me a hint about that, though, interestingly. Yeah. I really can just move forward in any game like this until I see an opportunity to break the barriers and escape the set path for me. I don't even know if it really needs for these giant cubes to be the way they are. Probably it's just a little more convenient to do things that way. And you can see some real-world physics here that they're not presenting themselves as problems yet. Did I actually cause those scuff marks? I wonder. But they might later on. Like, I could certainly see a point where they are where that might be an issue. And take note, they're making you crawl a lot. You're just a brat in a maze, crawling for the amusement of others.
Look around you, observe the area, and use the environment to your advantage. This is the most important advice I can give you. Others who monitor you later on will probably not be as generous with their advice as I am.
So we have one cube. Let's just smash the window. Ah, Well, don't smash the window. There was a button. That would just be to get back up to that point, and I'm not sure that there's a real reason that I need to be up here. Yeah, why is that pulling? This is just pulling me towards this. So is there something over on the wall? Explain that? Some objects have their own magnetic field. Okay, how does that work? It apparently doesn't interact with my magnetic fields. Seems kind of ridiculous that it's gonna make me go through the effort of pulling it twice, but whatever. Okay, so we needed that cube to get enough height.
Buttons, right. I think we've got this covered. Moving along.
I really do feel like I'm just gonna run through this really fast. Even if I do try to find every way to kill myself, I don't think that there's too many options here.
I am certain that you can do better than you did in the last chamber. Stay sharp, dear. Neither of us would like the things I would have to do to you if you start falling behind.
Interesting. It seems like your magneticism stops when this cube is in your way, which then would mean there's some kind of magnetic shielding on the inside of this cube. Yeah, we're getting little bits of dialogue, but I think that they probably have escalated the story too quickly. If you were going to do something like this, it probably would have been a good idea to then have a flashback.
It's not about manipulating magnetic forces or weapons testing. In here, it's all about you making a choice. Is that clear? There will be no second chances at this, just so you know. Now then, would you kindly leave the magnet gun at the designated stand? We cannot continue unless you do. Oh, and don't worry, you'll get a new one later, if all goes well.
So she's, would you kindly me here, which is from BioShock. And we've got a couple of dummies, it looks like, not standing on platforms, and a couple of dummies standing on buttons. And apparently disobedience is no longer punished. There's no longer chlorine gas or anything, because I kind of feel like that would be the case here. I feel like this is going to take a very dark turn immediately. That they're going to have us choose who lives or dies. Alright, let's put
As this is just a preliminary test chamber, the choice before you is rather simple. later choices might be a lot more difficult for you. You ready? In the middle of the chamber, there is a button. My question for you today is the following. Will you press it? You have 20 seconds to make up your mind, so I suggest that you think quickly. The countdown has begun.
Let's not press it and see what happens. Make your choice. That's almost like a reference from the Saw movies. I have no idea what the button would do, so why press it? Is this really an experiment about magnetism and a magnet gun, or is this an experiment about...
Given a choice, the inmate remains passive. Curiosity or other internal stimuli does not seem adequate to elicit a response in the subject.
Maybe they're trying to break me down.
You can go back the way you came. Once the lights above the door turn green, you can leave the chamber as usual.
So it seems like... Seems like the whole room is spinning around. Can't press it now, apparently. So there might have been an achievement. I wouldn't be surprised for pressing the button. But if you really are a prisoner, here's something you should learn, and everybody should learn. You know, don't act on impulse. Don't go pushing buttons. Don't go doing something you don't know the consequences for.
You've managed to dig your way through the basic evaluation chambers with a passable grade. I'm sure the pleasure has been mutual. Good luck and welcome to the weapons testing program. Try to get some rest before Warden Keene sends for you.
So this feels like this is a hard load section. And all of this is literally just to hide the load. In fact, this might actually be taking longer than it would have taken my SSD to actually load. We weren't really told to go through the door, but whatever. Oh, so it's just a prison, another prison room. Chapter 1, An Illusion of Progress. The trial begins. It's not particularly fun being told that you're the bad guy at the beginning of the game, particularly if it's not your choice. So, apparently, this has been 15 days, 10
Not
days.
a single scratch. Seems like the people upstairs really have made the basic evaluation module too easy. It used to be different. Well then, prisoner, it's time. When the lights turn green, enter the transit and we will make sure you get started. I'm almost looking forward to seeing how long you will last.
Yeah, I really kind of wish... I think Portal did it better, frankly, and this might just be nostalgia on my part, but just waking up and not knowing who you are and being told you're just a test subject by a computerized voice is a lot better than being in a prison, or an obvious prison to begin with, and being told that you're one of the worst prisoners ever. Of course, you don't know anything about the society, so maybe you're in prison for something that you wouldn't find objectionable, but who knows?
About this place. The container you're being transported in is called a Subject Transit Module. We have close to 100 of these installed, moving from cell blocks to evaluation chambers. Sometimes they even take someone back again. As you can probably see, the Subject Transit Modules were originally built from garbage containers. Very appropriate if you ask me. Isn't this nice, though? Almost like a guided tour, right?
So, if there's 100 of these going at all times, that's a lot of people. Even the terrible movie Cube, which is kind of what this is also, does it better by having people not have their memories, thus you can better relate to it.
This is where the real trial begins. I hope that the basic evaluation has been of some use, else this will be a short journey for you, and a waste of time for me. Pick up the magnet gun and let's get on with it.
I think I may have missed an opportunity to kill myself. Actually, come to think of it, I probably could have stayed in the prison cell and gotten gassed again. I don't see why that would be much of a different ending, though. Even the glass cases here don't really feel right. I don't see a reason for the column and the glass on top. Why not just have it go down a little bit further and have the floor cover it up so that you know you're absolutely done with it? So I don't think we're gonna have any other new abilities. So it's just possibly going to be stronger.
Basic training has taught you. I would be incredibly surprised if you somehow managed to get yourself killed in here. But then again, it all depends on what you have learned.
There we go. So I open the cage.
It's rather impressive how utterly useless some prisoners can be. Even children know better than to stand in an open fire.
So that did some damage to me. So that does seem like I could probably kill myself this way. But that didn't give me an ending, per se. So it's not just killing yourself that will give you endings. You need to find actual storyline endings, which probably boils down to more of an idea of you're going to have to disobey or stop succeeding at these puzzles. Okay, so I need to either fling myself up there or fling something else up there. I don't see how that works. It's gonna be hard to get that to land there. And then I guess maybe I had to charge up, then turn on it. There you go. Well, how about we just fling that up that way? These things don't feel like they really want to fly the direction I'd like them to fly. You know what? This will probably work better. There's a lot of clank, clank, clank going on in this too. Let's forget this and just jump over here, and then I'll pick it up this way. Man, this is just all over the place with the real world physics. Come on, snap to it. I don't know if this is going to help me any, but whatever. Yeah. We could run into some puzzles that are a little iffy at this rate. Like, we might run into something that's just really, really bad.
Chlorine gas is rather useful. During the Great War, it was employed on a large scale to combat enemy trenches. In here, however, we use it as an incentive for you to stay on the ledges.
So, when he calls that the Great War, we would call that
Normally,
World War
I. But you don't seem like the kind of creature that pays attention to warnings.
Let's just see what happens here. So I'm just trying to kill myself as much as possible. So we need a lot of stuff. Clearly being flung up really high. Probably don't need to have it that high. Always. Maybe only half the time. I kind of feel like I'd prefer if the game let's see, let me put this down for a second. I kind of feel like I'd prefer if the game made an actual effort to power up my magnetism the longer I held it versus wow. Man, you gotta be careful with the fire. Like, the gas is pretty much instant kill. The fire is nearly instant kill. I guess maybe this is where the half power comes in, is to make sure we... Oh, man. Yeah, this is gonna get wonky. This is gonna get wonky real fast. Because the controls are not quite tight enough. Oh, man. And there's no real difficulty setting here. They didn't ask if I wanted to play on easy or hard. Let's see. Hold it together, push it apart. So I have to stand here, wait till the fire happens if I want to be really safe, and then be done with it. Oh man, this game needs snap really bad. And see, personally, the fire could easily have stopped after I hit that switch. There was no real reason to make me prove that I could do that twice. So now I have to try and manipulate this cube. And fling it. And pushing it away is fine, but pulling it forward at the same power, it feels like I should be able to set it at different levels. So a high level pull or a high level push and a medium level pull would be appreciated. Oh, come on, are you just gonna stop working now? And I can't see anything with the reticle.
Play some basketball before you dropped out of school, did you? How very quaint.
I have no idea if that is true or not. I have no idea if I played basketball. I have no idea if I dropped out of school. There's a difference between Portal taunting that is very well written in this. Honestly, I think you just can't outdo Portal. It was a flash in the pan one-time thing, and it's just never going to be successfully copied or duplicated. Kind of in the same way that there's almost certainly never going to be another Schindler's List movie or movie like Schindler's List or like any of the other major classics. Those things just happen once and they're a product of their time a lot too.
Nice shot. Let's see if you can repeat it.
If they were gonna have me doing this much, why give me a cube at all? Why not split this into
Well done. You may proceed.
Like, seriously, why not split this into a oops. Into a sphere? That would make more sense. I guess I could have just walked in there and grabbed that also. And if we had fell down... There might be, I guess, a way to end the game permanently and get an ending if you just do terrible. If you fall down at the bottom of every puzzle, it seems pretty obvious that, at least in this section, they don't want that to happen.
The prison psychologist has asked us to include some less lethal chambers. This one was designed for 7 to 10-year-olds.
Let's see, watch your back. I think we're gonna see that a lot. You can't just throw yourself against that? Interesting. They won't let you leave. No duh. I kind of feel like perhaps this is a case of too many video game programmers having worked in too many terrible video game companies, and they're taking their own horrible career experience and applying it to an analogy of being in prison.
You have 5 minutes before we start filling this chamber with chlorine gas. I suggest you are done with this child's toy by then.
Thanks for that. That's what I figured this would do. There's a lot going on this though. Like, I don't want to lose my position, and I don't want this to take that long. That's what I thought.
After you are done here, the chamber will reset. You dig a hole, we fill it in.
See if I can roll this a little bit that direction. Okay. Seems like that worked. So we've got this cube. Is there something we could do with the cube? I guess it just hit that switch. Frankly, I don't want to spend 5 minutes listening to the music just to die from the gas. Like, that's... So if that is an ending, it's not definitive enough.
So far, so good. It's astonishing how many boxes you have managed to place on buttons in such a short amount of time.
I'd probably have to look at a
you will be
walkthrough
remembered
to
as one of the
decide
best box placers of your
to just see
generation.
how easy it would be to get all the achievements or not. I'm kind of a... So you can stand on these switches. You just can't do anything else with them. So I guess... Well, this seems crazy. Seems like you would have to do this at full power, which I'm not at full power. Maybe you do this. Or this and then turn around and do that. Nah, that doesn't seem right. You come up here. Remember, push with red, pull with blue. Push with red, pull with blue. Okay. So we've gone 30 minutes again. So we'll just end the recording here. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and give me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.